Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast on Game 2 in a series between Killer and Ddoro here on Metalopolis. For some reason on the replay it actually said Root Ddoro, but on his name it is Vile. I would naturally assume that he is part of Vile now since Root Gaming did disband a lot of the players going to Complexity. And then everyone know QXC going to a different team altogether, leaving some time ago. So we'll see. I'll keep track of the updates and hopefully give you guys more information. Meanwhile, we're going to see Ddoro spawning as the purple, the purple Protoss player here at the, at the 9 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Killer spawning as the yellow Zerg here at the 3 o'clock position. Always very confusing when the colors on the top part of the screen don't match left and right. For me, I end up being a little bit just backwards in terms of my descriptions. Anyways, we see Ddoro opening up with a low ground pylon, so we may be seeing a fast expansion attempt coming in from Ddoro. Meanwhile, we see Killer. He hasn't done anything as of yet. He did go for an extractor pool on Neo Enigma, and we'll see if he does that once again. Extractor pool, very, very strong to put down some early pressure. If you're able to deny your opponent an expansion, it normally does work out well, but in game 1 it did not, as we are going to see Killer moving out with this one particular drone and able to scout out this probe. The probe now looking around, looking for a spawning pool, but is not going to see it, as the drone will be able to grow up and be a hatchery without any interference from the probe. Nicely done, as all that probe can really do now is start warping in pylons. Oh, so we are going to see perhaps a cannon attempt, and there is a cancellation on that one particular hatchery there, and there's a cancellation on the pylon. So interesting strategy, as the Ddoro showing a little bit of cheese. We can see that there is a forge down here, so that forge is going to cause a little bit of problems as that one particular probe now trying to run away. You can see a photon cannon is trying to be warped in right there. The probe is, or the drone will come out ahead since it is able to barely survive, and now this photon cannon will get destroyed, followed by this pylon here. So yeah, the pylon will get destroyed, a hatchery will be placed down, and now the Nexus is just slightly ahead of this hatchery as the spawning pool about to be completed. We can see now a second probe making its way in. It looks like a photon cannon is in the future. We'll see whether or not it will come into position in just a moment, as we may be getting a pylon here and then perhaps getting a photon cannon. The photon cannon needs to be warped in. There it is. There's one photon cannon, and now all we need is another pylon right here, and this photon cannon is going to cause a lot of problems. A second photon cannon may be coming in first, though. We'll see what's going to be happening. As is Ddoro going to get another photon cannon? Yes, getting another photon cannon, and now the probe attempting to run away. It looks like it will be able to do so. The Zergling's not going to be able to catch up, and then the Zergling's starting to pick apart at this photon cannon. Is not going to work, as this one photon cannon is going to get completed in time, and now this hatchery most likely will get canceled. So Killer gonna lose this hatchery, but there is a spine crawler up on the high ground as well. So nice play by Killer to deny this, and the spine crawler will win out in this battle against this photon cannon. Photon cannon gonna get destroyed. Didn't even see that up there. Really well done, as Killer not really set back too much. There is one photon cannon here, another photon cannon being built in the back of the base. The Zergling's perhaps going to try to do a run by, not going to be able to do so, and instead losing 2 Zerglings to that photon cannon here. We are going to be getting another photon cannon here with a pylon. So a bit of Sim City by the Protoss player, making sure that Zerglings are not able to run through very easily at all. It's like what I like to say, a tower defense, and nail Killer opening up with why so cheesy, as we now see a very early third hatchery being built. So a very fast third hatch here on Metalopolis, and Ddoro wanting to say he cannot let him 14 hatch. So we'll see what's going to be happening. 35 food against 28. You can also see drone count 27 versus 26. Both players just trying to feel each other out, trying to figure out the other person's strategy, as Zerglings will have a very difficult time trying to make their way in. Now, so far these games have been a very interesting already. Killer now going into a double extractor perhaps trying to get into that higher tech mode as they both transition. So there's not going to be that much action and for the next couple of minutes as both players try to reestablish their strategies and reestablish their footing. Fortunately, though, for Killer is going to get up another base. Normally, I would say this would just be a normal macro hatch, but since this is at another spawning location or another mineral patch location, it's going to really help Killer in the long run. He's going to get additional drones. He's going to be able to power drone much more easily and freely as he's also teching the tier 2. He should be able to train up a queen here in just a moment. Not quite sure why he's currently not doing that just quite yet. Perhaps he knows that he has a lot of drones to train up. Another round of spawn larva coming in. We'll see what's going to be happening here as a probe now trying to put down some pylons. Now in game 1, you saw that Killer had over-droned just a little bit too much. So Killer wants to make sure he doesn't do that once again. He has a Zergling and an Overlord in position. Another Overlord over here with very, very strong sight across the center portion of the map, just outside his opponent's base. We still have a queen now over here, so Killer will be able to start spawning larvae once again, as he also laid down a creep tumor. So Killer should be able to, after running off of all of these hatcheries, has 12 larvae right now with still a lot of room, but we are going into a Dark Shrine. So a Dark Shrine being added. We are, however, at tier 2 as the Ddoro now going into a crazy 6 gateway off of 2 base, and that is going to be a large stream of units. The attack should come in around the 11 to 12 minute mark off of these 6 gateways. However, the Overlord does spot this, and he's going to know the timing of this absolutely perfectly. The sentries going to take down this Overlord with really no issue, but Killer getting all the scouting information he really needed. Now 57 drones compared to 52. Hydralisk being added, Groove Spine being added as well. I believe the level 1 missile upgrades has already been, no, it has not been completed. That was a previous matchup, so no evolution chamber as of yet. Oh, sorry, evolution chamber here. No missile upgrades as of yet, but the Groove Spines will definitely help, as you are now going to see an even larger number of drones still being trained. Hydralisk being added as well, and Hydralisk definitely need more and more creep in order to be very effective. Stalkers will be able to get Blink in just a moment as well. Level 2 weapons upgrade also coming online for the Protoss, so that is definitely going to be very, very beneficial, as you can now see a Dark Templar sneaking into this location. There are no Spore Crawlers, there are no Overseers, there is a lot of gas, so will Killer be able to respond to it in time is a key question. And oh, he sees the flicker, spotting the flicker of that Dark Templar, now attempting to pull away, where the Dark Templars are now back over here as well. Where is any Overseer? I don't see an Overseer. Overseer cocoon finally being hatched now. 2 Overseer cocoons are going to be able to spot all of these Dark Templars, and the Dark Templar over here will get destroyed. It looks like this one Dark Templar trying to run around, it will get destroyed very, very quickly. The Dark Templar getting some quick kills, and the worker kills 11 compared to 2 at this time. So we are a little bit behind now in terms of workers. 53 compared to 60, but 10 more drones definitely going to help. But you can also see that the Protoss now establishing up his 3rd base. 3 gateways here on the high ground, preventing any run-by of Zerglings. And now the Protoss should be able to defend these 3 bases relatively easily. And now the next round of battles should be very, very large. A very large Zerg army going up against a rather smaller Protoss army at this stage. These Zerglings, Roaches, and Hydras may be able to push in on this backdoor. There is only 1 photon cannon. The Zerglings now getting in position. The Zerglings now waiting for the rest of his brethren to get there. The Hydralisk bringing up the rear, moving rather slowly, as those Zerglings are now going to be pushing up into this location here. Roach is now going after those buildings here, now going after the gateway. The gateway has been destroyed. Another gateway going to get destroyed as well, as the numbers continue to hit. Warp gates getting destroyed, and now in comes a force field. However, the warp gate on the low ground, from the low ground getting destroyed, and now more gateways being pushed back once more. The Ddoro, however, getting a very large number of reinforcements with those gateway units, and forcing Killer to pull back. So yeah, I keep on getting the Ddoro and Killer mixed up. I'll just try to name them Protoss and Zerg throughout the rest of the matchup, but I will slip up just a little bit more as we now see the Protoss player still running off of 3 bases, even on probes compared to drones, but another hatchery is underway. Taking a look at the tech, we are getting the pathogen glands for the Zerg. Hydralisk Den already has the groove spines, another evolution chamber coming into play as well, as we are already getting the level 2 missile upgrades in addition to the level 1 armor upgrade. So that is going to be definitely beneficial as the Zerg, Roaches, and Hydralisks want to make a move into the midfield. We are going into the robotics bay for the Colossi. Colossi, a definite boost as a lot of Roaches and Hydralisks tend to clump together. The problem will be the fact that infestors are already being added into the field, and if we get a neural parasite, that neural parasite able to turn the tide of that battle for just a moment, taking control of that 6 food unit, and there is that neural parasite that I mentioned. So it will be a neural parasite versus Colossi. Whoever has the better micro will come out slightly ahead. We are going to have Stalkers now making their way forward, quickly blinking into the center of the map. Drones now coming down over here in order to begin that mining, as well as Killer already mined out of his main base. You can see down to 215 mineral patches on the closer locations there. Stalkers and sentries now in the middle portion of the map. They are going to be making a move and now blinking forward once again, shutting down that Overlord. Overlord getting destroyed in just a matter of seconds, but now in comes some force fields. Overseer trying to come in. We are getting some fungal growth. The Roaches do not have burrow, as this Overseer may get shot down. Yes, it does get destroyed, so a little bit of a miscalculation there, as those Roaches now overextending themselves once again. There are 2 infestors in this group. The infestors need to land a couple more fungal growths if they attempt to try to even out the army sizes, but Colossi are now added. We are going into a Spire as well. So Corruptors will come under play. So this is going to turn into a very heavy macro battle, and whoever is going to be able to balance macro and micro will come out ahead. The drones now establishing up another base as well, so Killer wanting to make sure that he does not fall behind on bases. The Zerg never wants to be even with his opponent, as we now see Roaches and Hydralisks come in and trying to do a bit of an attack here. Not going to work out. 2 photon cannons plus a Colossi able to push this attack force back. Now level 3 weapons upgrade has been completed, finally moving into that ground upgrade as well. Greater Spire also being added, so this is your full tier 3 tech ladder. We are going into a Greater Spire. I do not see an Ultralisk Cavern as of yet, but those could come into play a little bit later. The only thing I really wish that Ultralisks could do was Ultralisks could push aside their own Zerg units, like Zerglings, push them off to the side in order to make their way through. I think that would make a lot of sense, as those Zerglings would probably yield to an Ultralisk, but then again, what do I know about game balance? Killer now getting up a couple Spine Crawlers here as well. He is getting very close to that maximum food count. Stalkers, Colossi, and sentries in this very tight bio ball, or sorry, a mechanical ball here. Gateway units with 2 Colossi, and now just hunting down Overlords. Overlords getting shot out of the sky, but is not supply locking Killer, as Killer, gonna blink up onto the high ground with a couple of those Stalkers, leaving the remaining ground force on the bottom. The infestors need to get out some fungal growths. And are they gonna be able to get off any more is the key question. Stalkers now going after those key units there. And Ddoro just with a great number of Stalkers and Colossi micro, dealing a lot of damage. Infestors getting destroyed before they could Neural Parasite, as those 2 Colossi just so much DPS in this battle. You can see a large number of Broodlords and Zerglings about to be trained up. Stalkers, however, getting caught up on the ramp as well. Evolution Chamber will get destroyed in just a moment. You can see that the Broodlord cocoons are over here, and we should be getting, what, 7 Broodlords. Those Spine Crawlers need to root themselves, and then with those Spine Crawlers on the ground, perhaps we'll be able to escort the rest of these Broodlords. Otherwise, the Stalkers may be able to just blink straight into this group. Killer now in a bit of trouble. He needs to root the rest of these units here. Stalkers are just going to blink straight underneath, and that is not going to work out, focusing down those Broodlords. Broodlords getting destroyed in a matter of seconds. And I believe that will be the GG. Killer going to lose this game. Killer going to lose this game, allowing the Ddoro, I believe, to take a 2-0 advantage here. And there is the GG once again. So Ddoro now taking a 2-0 lead in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed Game 2 in this series. Stay tuned for Game 3.